In the quiet village of Elderglen, nestled between misty mountains and whispering forests, lived a boy named Kael. Orphaned at 10, he was raised by his grandmother, a weaver of tapestries said to capture dreams. Her hands, gnarled with age, moved like wind over water, threading stories into cloth, legends of heroes, lost cities, and stars that sang at night. Every thread has a purpose, she'd say, even the broken ones. Kael believed in stories, but not in himself. At 16, he stood shorter than most, with a stutter that tangled his words and a limp from a childhood fall. The village boys mocked him, calling him lame loom boy. He spent his days gathering herbs and dreaming of places beyond the valley, where the sky wasn't blocked by stone. One winter, a traveling scholar named Aethra arrived, fleeing a collapsing empire to the south. She carried a tattered map etched with constellations and a prophecy. When the skyfire blooms, the silent one shall speak, and the path to Aethra will open. Aethra, the fabled city of light, said to float above the clouds, where time bent and wisdom flowed like rivers. The villagers scoffed. Fools' tales, they said. But Kael's grandmother's eyes sparkled. That night, she wove a new tapestry of a boy with a staff, standing before a gate of stars. That's you, she whispered. You're the silent one. Not because you don't speak, but because the world hasn't learned to listen. 3 days later, she passed in her sleep, heartbroken. Kael burned with a quiet fire. He packed a satchel, dried herbs, a compass, his grandmother's last tapestry, and set out at dawn, following the map's celestial clues. The journey was brutal. He crossed the ashen wastes, where sandstorms stole breath and mirages taunted with water. In the hollow woods, shadows whispered doubts. You're not strong. You'll fail. You're nothing. He wept, but pressed on. At the foot of the shattered peaks, he met a wounded eagle with one wing torn. Most would have left it. Kael spent 2 days binding its feathers with silk thread and singing lullabies his grandmother taught him. The eagle, whom he named Zephyr, recovered and refused to leave. Together, they climbed. At the summit, under a sky streaked with violet and gold, Kael found the Gate of Stars. Ancient pillars humming with energy, covered in forgotten runes. The map showed that the gate opened only when someone spoke the true name of the Skyfire. But no one knew the name. Kael sat for hours, studying the runes. He noticed patterns, echoes of his grandmother's tapestry symbols. With trembling fingers, he traced them, whispering fragments of old lullabies. Nothing. Then, as the first star blinked to wake, Zephyr screeched, and a beam of light shot from its eye, striking the central pillar. The ground trembled. Kael realized. The Skyfire wasn't a word. It was a song of courage, of kindness, of a boy who mended wings and carried dreams in silence. He closed his eyes and sang. Not with perfect voice, but with truth. His stutter faltered the notes. His voice cracked like thunder. Yet each imperfect sound resonated with the mountain.